Welcome back to Midwest Whitetail Northeast. I'm back in the Muddy Ladder stand, the stand that I was able to take Tyson in. This quite possibly could be our best stand at the farm. Actually, it's not even on the farm property. It's located behind the farmhouse on the game lands. This is the same stand last year that Adam was able to harvest his buck and rifle season. He had numerous encounters with Tower out of the stand last season. And now this year, as you saw in a previous episode with Adam and I, we had the opportunity to see Tower Jr. and also Travolta. Hopefully, since Adam and I are tagged out in PA, well, except buck-wise, does we are not. But hopefully, all the bucks make it through the rifle season that is coming up in 1 week. The stand here, the Muddy Ladder stand, I had hunted. I unfortunately, because of my work, I'm unable to really take a lot of consecutive days off. But I am able to come in a little bit later and work a little bit later, which is really nice. And that first week in November, I was in this stand every day. I didn't see a deer all week out of this stand. A lot of squirrels. That's pretty much about it. A lot of crows barking in my ear. And so finally, on Thursday, it was November 4th, that morning, I decided to stay in the woods an hour longer. Probably about 5 after 9 came, and I noticed a deer on the opposite hillside. If you watch here, it's actually not the deer, it's just me showing you where the deer came from. He was way over on the opposite hillside, and I could see that because, obviously all the leaves and stuff are down out of the tree now, and are off the trees now, and from what it appeared to me, it looked like a buck because he was running, trotting pretty good down the hillside with his nose down to the ground. Looked like a buck searching for a doe. And I grabbed my grunt tube real quick, got my bow, and I lost him down in the valley, down there where you can see right there. And I lost him probably maybe 15 seconds or so, and I got my grunt tube, gave 2 loud grunts to him, almost 2 loud growls at him, almost. And he came sprinting up over this hill, over the point right here, and stopped right there where that, as you can see, right there where that orange marker is, kind of in some thick beech trees down below that are probably only maybe 6-7 feet tall. And he had stopped looking around. He was, licking the air with his tongue, smelling the air, trying to find, where that buck was that had just grunted to him. And all I needed him to do was take a few more steps into one of my shooting lanes, and sure enough, that's what he did. He took a couple of these steps and actually stopped right behind what I thought was a big cherry tree. Actually turned out to be just a small group of maple trees right in front of me, and he stopped his head perfect behind those trees. I was able to get my feet situated. I was able to relax because I couldn't see his head anymore, and he was about 25 yards, and sure enough, I let the shot go, and I center punched him right in the chest, and he was quartering to me just a hair, but he didn't go far. He walked very gingerly out to that point you can see right here, and stopped. He stood there, was looking around for maybe a couple seconds, and then he laid down. And maybe another 30 seconds later, he rolled over, and that was it. That is my first mature PA buck. We estimated him at being 5.5 years old. I'm going to send in a tooth in to see actually how old he actually is. I won't get the results probably till next year, so stay tuned for them for an episode next year from Adam and I, and I'll let you know what we find out in terms of the age of Tyson. Tyson is a buck that we only saw one time in the preseason, and that time, if you take a look at this footage here, this was, I believe, late August, early September, and he had just coming out of velvet. That was the only time we saw him up in the field, and you can see him up there fighting. Actually, that's King that he is fighting with there in the preseason footage. And that was the only time we saw him, other than trail camera pictures that you can see here. And also the
the trail videos that we have from the trail cameras, those were the only times that we were getting, you know, getting an eye on him throughout the season, up until November 4th, the day that, you know, I was able to take him off our hit list. Welcome back to Midwest Whitetail Northeast. As you can see, I was able to harvest a great buck here this morning. And as you saw previously, Adam got a really nice buck in Ohio. He rushed home last night just to film me for the next 2 days, and then Saturday too. And this morning it rained pretty hard on the way in. It was raining pretty hard in the tree stand for probably about the first hour or so. And unfortunately, something went wrong with Adam's camera, and we weren't able to film the hunt. But this buck here, this buck is Tyson. He was on our hit list. He's actually the #1 buck on our hit list. He was actually my #2 buck. I wanted the Big Ten. You saw that encounter I had earlier in the season with him. Unfortunately, I did have to pass on him. I really couldn't identify who he was at the time, but I'm glad that I had the opportunity to harvest Tyson, and he is a dandy. He is definitely my biggest buck by a long shot here in PA.